Um, one of the things was, what is someone you wished Aria had more one-on-one interaction with?
Oh, she got quite a bit.
Did she?
I think she got quite a bit of like all the conversations that Aria had. I remember talking to most people, even like I don't know if I have everyone. I mean, I'd love to explore the relationships with everyone, but I do think that most of the characters, if not all of them, got a pretty good vibe. Like, got pretty good interactions. So I don't know that I have an answer for that one.
Who is someone you want to see more of, I guess, or story? Is it gonna be Silver or Damien? I guess Silver or Damien, I guess.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, either one of them. I'd also say Serenity. I think any of those three I would love to see more of. Of course, I'd love to see more of Aria, but I think those three, if we're talking other characters, would be that would be the way to go.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't think you know. Okay, so Serenity, Serenity and Layla are actually like two sides of the same coin too, because I think that's how it's doing a lot of people. So like, Ethan and Michelangelo are kind of similar, which is kind of funny how you're like, Michelangelo is such a red flag and Ethan's kind of boring, but like, because they're both keep to themselves and they're both into their own crafts. But Michelangelo really doesn't really be giving you the time of day compared to Ethan. Ethan will give you the time of day, but Michelangelo's just kind of like, oh hey, I guess we're here. But they have the same personality, which I guess is kind of good that the relationship triangle didn't really go the way planned, because then it's like, oh, it would have been the same thing twice. So and then you have Silver and Serenity, who's the enemies to lovers trope. Layla, Ty, and Tanner were the love triangle. Ethan is the prodigy. Aria is the blank canvas, and then Damien's the trauma. Damien's just a trauma, and Silver's the over-exaggerated character. So like, that's why I was just like. But when it came to Serenity and Layla, so Serenity's backstory was that she was also super overweight in the past, but when she worked out, she was able to get the quote-unquote desired body. But like, even though Layla works out, she still remains plus size. So like, but they don't show any animosity or hatred towards one another. But some people will still see that as like Serenity either feels like self-conscious about herself or something, or it's just based off of interpretation of like how the character sees it. So I was just curious of what your thoughts on like their dynamic, because like, you know, they're basically supposed to have like the same type of journey, but they had different results.
Yeah, I think that adds to how we've been calling Aria's choice sort of like the realistic version of a dating sim. It just adds to it. That's how friendship dynamics are, is, you know, one of you or multiple of you might have the same goal, and one of you succeeds and the other one is like, why are you being able to accomplish all the things that I can't seem to do? And there's fun things to be explored in there with what kind of different emotions that might stir, for like guilt and shame and jealousy and all that jazz. But I think in the realm of Aria's choice, the three of them, Aria, Serenity, and Layla, were very much like, it felt like we were in a place where they were either past that sort of feelings or they were yet to talk about them. It's like we're not quite in the midst where that drama is occurring. We're sort of just living our daily life, and maybe if we got an OVA or a one, you know, chapter spin-off with these three, that might be one of the things they go into. And it's, you know, learning how to like love yourself, learning how to support your friends if they do things that you wanted, right? All sorts of little bits and pieces. But I think for this game, they were pretty good with each other, and at least from what we saw, very like supportive.
OVA is like $1 million to make. just a 20-minute OVA. You're like, oh, you got $1 million? Like, no, like do
Literally.
it. So it's just like maybe in the future, just like we get the Doki Doki success, maybe.
Right? Exactly.
Why do you think Serenity works as a good best friend though?
Oh. Because she serves a balance of listening and also being sort of like witty realism. So she'll listen when Aria is like, here are all my boy troubles, and I do not know what to do with the boys. And she'll be like, okay, great, you're an idiot. Why are you doing that? And that's the best style of friend, is one that goes, I'm listening, I hear you, now stop. Like,
stop and listen to yourself for a second. And what about Layla? Because Layla comes in later. Like they literally coincidentally meet her. So and then which makes the whole trio occur. Why do you think she just flows into the group so naturally?
Because she's very sort of chill in a way, where she's kind of like down for anybody that sort of wants to hang out or do anything. She's very open to like, sure, like, who are you? Let's talk. Let's be friends. You want to come here? You want to do that? Let's go to the park. Like, she's very encouraging and supportive. And I think if you are that way, you fit into friend groups very easily.
Now, I know you're saying that you found Ty to be very boring, but when it came to his relationship to him and Layla, or Layla and Tanner, did you find him a little bit more interesting?
With him and with Ty and Tanner?
Like Ty and Tanner and their crush on Layla. Like
okay.
Yeah, like when you're not romancing them and they're strictly just focused on getting with Layla. Like and so like Layla's more on the focus and you see how they act with one another. And it's like because they're friends, but at the same time those friends are trying to get with her. So it's just like how do you think that changes the dynamic?
It's interesting. I do like being the observer a little bit.
Yeah, that's the whole fun.
Yeah, because you're so invested in like, I am the main character and I will romance a boy that I want and I will go through these scenes, that it's kind of fun, the aspect of being like, ooh, someone else. Kind of like Layla is in this dating sim as the playable character in a different universe.
She stole your spotlight.
Like, and it's interesting because it's almost like you get to witness the choice that another player is making on their romance options. So it's really weird because it's kind of like Inception in that way, where you're like, I feel like there are two people playing this game. And I think that's quite fun.
Like more what I mean is like, do you think it kind of lowers their relationship because the guys are trying to get with Layla, or you think it also increases it because when they finally acknowledge that, you know, they're okay with just being friends with her, it's just like there's no more of that time where she's like, maybe I could get with her, which happens in like when Layla gets with Silver.
I mean, in real life, sometimes it is the annoying idea of like the phrase that like every man wants to get with every woman. They don't want to be friends with you ever. And the second you say you only want to be friends, they leave. Like that can be annoying and makes me want to roll my eyes. But we are in a dating sim, so I don't have any of that precursor angst about that sort of pursuing a girl type of energy, because that's the point. So I don't think it increases, decreases at all. I think it's just kind of how it works. And they aren't like inherently disrespectful. So as long as you're not, you know, out here being like, oh, you are a bad person for getting with the other boy, I think they're fine. I don't think it's an increase or a decrease.
You said inherently disrespectful. You think they're disrespectful at some points?
No, I don't think they're inherently disrespectful.
Yeah, but did you ever find them during the playthrough like, oh man, how dare they? Like, you know, it's like, like, there's this there's this scene where Damien calls Serenity. It's like, oh, you know, I liked you when you were chubby too. And someone's just like, that's so insulting. It was just like, it was meant to be cute. Like, you know, that he didn't care if she was chubby or not. And someone's just like, how dare he say that? So it's just like, you know.
No, some of those boys definitely disrespectful. I just mean I don't think the concept of those two pursuing her had any disrespectful stuff to it, but some of those dialogue options in those boys' conversations, yeah, there's a little bit of that in there. There's a little bit of backhand needed.
Which one was the one that caught you off guard the most?
Oh, that's a hard one. Genuinely, I think anything that comes out of Silver's mouth.
That don't count because he's meant to be an a-hole. Like, so
That's true.
So he's out of the picture because he's supposed to be a red flag. He's literally the walking definition of a red flag.
That's a good point, actually. That's a good point.
Because you guys fell in love with him for his red toxic. That's how you guys. Yeah.
Oh god. Actually, that one that you said about Damien, that's probably the highest on the list because it's one of those things where like when you're writing it, it's fine, but I think that's one of the ones for sure where it's like, oh, okay, interesting comment.
Like, okay, like when it's ready, I think it was supposed to be something around the line. It's like, Serenity brought up the fact that, oh, you didn't even notice me when I was in high school or something like that. It was just like, we were like 3 years apart. I was your senior. Of course I'm not, but you're still cute. You know, you're still cute regardless if you're chubby or not. And then, like, it was taken to the cop, just like, how dare you call me chubby? Instead, it was just like, you know, like, he was just like, I would have dated you even though you were chubby. So it's just like more of those things.
It's one of those comments where you just look at him and you're like, close your mouth, take your foot out, and back up. Like,
it's one of those comments where it's like a guy's like, you know what? I like a girl who can eat.
Oh, you know what it reminds me of? If you've ever seen the old, I call them old, I shouldn't do that, the amazing original live action Scooby-Doo movie where Fred says something to the equivalent of like, I think nerds like you are hot too, or like, I think ugly people like you are hot too. That is the equivalent, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, there's this one movie, the worst one out of the franchise, Halloween Town College, the college one. And the guy is like, you know, I really like a girl who can eat a lot or something like that. It's just like,
or the troll girl who's in a relationship and she's like, well, people where I'm from think I'm the prettiest one, and it's like, oh.
Like, it's those type of comments is like, what? And I think that's what Damon did, even though he didn't mean it in that way. It's just like, oh, that was an insult. Oh, the best way to put it, I think you look great without makeup. You actually look prettier without makeup. That's what it's giving.